Hi, so this is PE Design. I have version 6. If you have something different, it's not really hugely different. You can probably still use it. And I'm going to show you how to make just something simple. This is usually what you start out with. Then if you hit options up here and then go to, go to display and then grid setup. I like the show to grid with the axes, and I keep it at 0.500 of an inch, and then my little grid comes up. And if you hit options, select system unit, usually the default is millimeters, I think. I prefer inches, so I have inches clicked on mine. And then I'm going to show you how to make a snowman. So if you hit image and then input from file, mine's in my download folders now. This is just all the junk that I have saved. I have a snowman, QRS, and snowman face. Double click on him and he comes up. Now I can shrink it down by dragging this, holding my mouse button down and dragging it, or enlarging it. And then maybe I want it on a bigger hoop, so if I hit options, design page property, here's my hoop size. I'm going to choose the 6x10 because it's a lot easier to make things smaller once you start large. If you enlarge them, lots of times it doesn't work. But now that I realize my snowman is wider than it is long, I'm going to change my mind and say I want it on the 10¼ by 6¼ so it goes sideways. And you can save it later the opposite way if your hoop goes the opposite way. And I'm just going to hold the mouse button down and drag my corners so it fills up most of the hoop. That's close enough. Oh wait, no, we'll make it a little bigger. And if you put your mouse where it gets like this in the middle of it, where it has that plussy sign, you can drag it different directions. And then you click off it anywhere to be able to lock it in place. So now I want to set my stitches. This one up here, running stitch, zigzag, motif, whatever that says, EV stitch. I want it on a running stitch, and I have my fill stitch. These are all the different ones. I'm going to leave this on a plain fill stitch. And then I'm going to choose my colors. This button is your thread color. This is for your outline stitch, and this is for what's in the middle of it. I want it on black, and you can change these to be any of the different ones. I leave mine on brother most of the time, just because that's what I'm most familiar with. And then this one is the inside, like for the fill. So I'm gonna again change that to black and hit OK. And now I want to change my sewing attributes. So under sewing, then sew attributes. You have beginner, expert mode. You can use whichever. You have more choices than expert, of course, but beginner isn't terrible. This line sew is for this stitch over here. It's for your outline stitch. The region sew is the inside. Factory setting I think is 114. I move mine up to about 145 or 150, and I leave the line usually on 0.08 and just one time you want it to go. If you're doing an expert mode, you can see a few different things. If you scroll down, there's different options. I have my step pitch set at 14, factory is 16. Frequency, pulse, compensation. You can mess with those, change them. I usually leave this one at 14. You can see what they do too. Like if you set them at home, then you can see different things. Sometimes I leave it at 16. You can play with it and see what it does. If you hit apply, it changes it. I'm gonna close that now. So first I want to use his eyes. This is the circle tool. I just click on it and then I just kind of hold the mouse button down and go over it. This is your magnifying glass. You click on it, and your plus, you click wherever you want to zoom in. I'm zooming in, and you just clicky on it. Now I'm going to select it with the pointer tool and then click on it. It has these little brackety things around it, or squares. That means I can move it, and I can use these to make my circle smaller or bigger. So if you don't get your circle right, it doesn't matter. Now down here, it tells you, oh, sorry, using the mouse, not my finger, how big it is, your circle is. The width of it is 160, the height is 158. So I'm going to make it just perfectly round and move that in a little bit to 158. So there, my first eye is done. If I zoom out, you can see it a little more. So now I'm going to click back on my arrow, so this is selected. And then if I hold Control down and hit D, that's for duplicate, and it's going to make another circle, and I can just drag it over to where I want it to be. I'm moving my screen over just by clicking on the little buttons. And then I'm going to make the mouth. So again, I go to my circle tool and click on it, and I just hold my mouse button down, and I draw my circle. I want to be able to select it and move it to where it needs to go. And now here I can see 0.80 and 0.81. I want it to be just a little bigger so that it's exactly round. And I'm just going to move it over to be on top of that. And I'm just scrolling down with the arrow key. And then again, I hit Control and D because it's selected, and make another one and put it down. Control D to make another one and put it down. Control D to select another one or make another one and move it a little more. You can also use your arrow keys on your keyboard to move it over. Control D, and I'm just going to keep going around to get all of my little mouth holes, I guess. Oopsie, don't hit that. Control D to move it over and put it down. Oopsie, it's missing. I'm just going to move it a little, and I'm going to keep going until I get all of them in. Go over a little more and put it down. Control D, up, not quite there. Control D and put it in. Okay, now I have enough to where I want to save it. I'm going to go to File, Save As. It's not a Cindy Clippy. I'm going to put mine under Christmas. Make a new folder. Call it Snowman Face. Open it. And I'm going to call it Snowman Face 6x10. And now he's saved. So now I want to make the nose. So I'm going to click on this, it's the outline, and go to this one. And then I want to change my color because you don't want the color black for his nose. Click on the color box and then move this down till I get to orange. Click OK, move this one because this is the inside fill stitch to orange. Click OK. And now you can see these are both orange, it's still set on the fill. Now this, because it's a fill embroidery, we need it to be on this closed path. If it's open, it won't be able to fill because it doesn't know where to ever stop. So then I'm just picking a spot, clicking, making a little line, clicking, making a little line, clicking, and this makes it rounder. And you just click around the object every however often. You can tell how it's going. You get to the end, you double click. So now I want to zoom in and see what that looks like. So I hit my plus button and zoom in on it. If you hit F6, it fades your background image, and the second time you hit it, then it disappears completely. So you can see now that this is not perfectly rounded, I guess you would say, and this may be just a little bit more sticky out-ish. So this one is your edit points tool. You click on it and then you click on this one, which is to select a point, and you click on what you just did. And all these little boxes, you can adjust them. This one, do you see how these tails are going off of it? You can pull on those and rotate them. And then you click on the middle and move it back, and it makes it more in line. This one I'm just gonna move up so it's not quite so jagged right there. And then this one, we'll just move him up so it kind of rounds that out a little better. And I am pleased with that. So then I'm going to zoom out. This one zooms out so you see the entire hoop, and there is the snowman face. So now you want to see how it sews out. So you hit sew and then sewing order. These boxes tell you the steps your sewing machine is gonna do. So here it combines it because I have the pluses checked. It combines them by color. This one makes it be in proportion to how big it is on the screen. I like them big so I can see what they're doing. This button, it shows you each individual step instead of showing you if you click it, it combines all the light colors. Since I have it on the combining the light colors, you can click the plus to be able to see all of the different steps it's gonna do. And if you click on it, it'll highlight it in red running around it like the little ants. So that one is there, and then the outline. And then it does this one, it'll jump over there and do the fill and then the outline. And then there's the fill and the outline, and you can see it'll go through the whole thing. And then it switches to this one. I'll just expand it. And you have the carrot nose and then the outline of it. So maybe I decided I don't like my carrot nose. I can click on that one, hold Control down and click on that one. And if I click cancel, you see how it's highlighted now. I can just hit delete, I don't like it, and start over. I'm gonna Control Z that because my nose is fine. So now I have my snowman. I can Control S to save it. So then if I click back on my selectee tool and then hold the mouse button down on the top and drag it over the entire thing, it'll select all of the stuff. And right now it shows you down here, it's only, the design is 7.8 and the height is 5.64. We can fill that hoop up. So we just drag the corners out to be able to get to, you don't want it to fully fill the hoop because some machines are pickier than others. But usually on a 6 1/4 hoop, then you can go to 6.25 happily. Control S to save, and your design for that one is done. Now if you want, you can, most machines, well not most, but some won't take it this direction, so you hit Options, Design Page Property, and you're going to turn it to the 6 1/4 by 10 so it goes this direction. Hit OK. Now your design is off of it. You can just select the whole thing again by dragging over it. Control and Y. That's going to make it to where it puts these little things, and you can now rotate your design. And rotate it so it's totally even. There we go, and save your little thing with Control S. If you click back on your pointy, then you can shrink it, just holding the mouse button down, and see you'll get to 44.31. We can go bigger than that to save it for a 5x7. A 5x7 is actually like 5.07 or something like that. I just get right over 5, change it from the design property to 5.7, or design page property, sorry. Hit OK. And then since this whole thing is selected, anytime we're over part of what's selected, the actual sewing, you can just drag it. And I'll just move my arrow key to make it be just right. And then I hit File, Save As. It's still in the folder, so all I want to do is change the hoop size to 5x7, enter, and it's saved. Now your screen might not look exactly like this. If you hit display and preview, that shows you how it looks the other way. You can do it in either way. This way shows you what the design is actually going to look like if you were to do a computerized picture of it. The other way, I like it better. It's just your own personal preference. Oopsie, moving the screen, sorry. Whoopsie, it's display and then preview. It shows you all of your stitches. If you zoom in on it, the plus sign again, you can see the actual stitches of what it's going to do. Now, if you want to see how is this going to stitch out, you can click on your arrow key to highlight it all, click over all of it, hit display and stitch simulator and hit play. This is going to show you how it's stitching. You can adjust the speed here. Hurry up, little machine. Mush, mush. And there's how it's going. Super high speed. Then it goes that one, that one, that one, that one, all the way around. And you're done. And you can check it that way also to see how it's doing. I think that's it for how to make a filled design. If you have any questions, feel free to email me. And thank you very much.